Welcome to BFHS SWENext Summer Challenges. SWENext is a club that strives to inspire young girls in our community with STEM. Due to COVID-19, we've decided to continue our outreach events online. Today, we're going to blast off and explore aerospace engineering.
Aerospace engineering is a job that focuses on the study of space and air travel, like rockets and planes. In order to make better spacecraft, aerospace engineers need to understand important scientific principles, including drag, thrust, and energy.
When we think about a rocket, a figure with a cone-shaped nose usually comes to mind. But why is the nose like this? Why is the top of a rocket pointy instead of flat? Well, it has to do with air resistance and drag. Imagine you're in a car with the window rolled down. You stick your hand out the window, and when you put your hand like this, the air drags your hand back, and you feel your hand fighting against the wind. When this happens, you're feeling a force called drag. But when you turn your hand sideways like this, it becomes a lot easier and the wind is gentler on your hand. This is because the air doesn't have as much area to hit against, so your hand is fighting against less air and there's less drag. Well, the same thing that happens to your hand happens to a rocket when it's shooting into space. When a rocket goes up into the air, that same force that was acting against your hand acts on the rocket too. That drag does everything it can to go against the rocket, to fight it. But with a cone or a point, there isn't as much area for the air to hit against, and so it's easier for the rocket to take flight. Another way to get rid of drag is to take away skin friction. Skin friction is a result of the interactions between solids and gases. The properties of both the solid and the gas play a part in creating it. Certain materials create more skin friction, and certain materials create less skin friction. Try to play around with different materials to figure out which one creates the least drag. Now, just like the shape of a rocket's nose and certain materials fight to reduce drag, so does another force called thrust. In a rocket, while drag pushes downwards, thrust pushes upwards and comes in the form of fuel.
All rockets need fuel to propel themselves into space. But how does fuel actually launch a rocket into space? Well, it's all thanks to a chemical reaction. When two or more elements combine, sometimes they release heat, and when gases heat up, they expand. As the gases expand, they can no longer fit in their container, so they try to escape. In rockets, this air is funneled through tubes at the bottom of the rocket. As the gases stream out of these tubes, they thrust the rocket upward into space. For your project, you should also think about how you might get your rocket to lift off.
In this challenge, we'll test your hand at aerospace engineering. We want you to build your own rocket and launch pad out of materials you can find at home. Engineers always start by brainstorming and drawing out their plans. For your project, you'll need to submit a picture of your rocket and launch pad blueprint. You can draw this on paper, with chalk, or anything else, as long as we can see it clearly. And don't forget to include labels of each part.
Once you have your design, you can start building your rocket and launch pad. The rocket will be scored based on how well you understood the principles of drag and thrust. What shape is your rocket? Is it narrow or wide, long or short? You will need to submit a photo of your completed rocket. The launch pad is a platform that holds the rocket off the ground. Your launch pad must be able to hold your rocket at or above 2 inches from the ground. You will also need to submit a photo of the launch pad supporting the rocket with a ruler, proving that it is 2 inches off the ground.
We'll also be looking for creativity. Did you decorate your rocket and launch pad? Did you add any cool designs to it? How about any extra parts? Don't forget that engineers also have to think out of the box when picking colors and decorations.
And finally, there will also be a bonus. If you can figure out a way to launch your rocket, you will get extra points. The higher your rocket goes, the more points you will get. If you manage to get your rocket to blast off, then you can also submit a short video of it in action. Finally, you will also get points for launching your rocket off the ground. The higher your rocket goes, the more points you will get. You will have to submit a short video showing your rocket in action.
To see the official scoring rubric, visit our website linked in the description. The project is due on Friday, July 10th at 11:59 p.m. Central, and the winner will be announced on Sunday, July 12th. Remember, the winner will also receive a STEM prize. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email at husey22@bfhsla.org. Get ready to blast off!